Hi everyone and welcome to the fourth episode. In this episode we are going to take a quick look at two different crystals used on CKS constellations. This is the 27 model. It has a 564 movement and 5022 crystal. The crystal is shorter than this crystal. The dial is flat and the crystal has a lower height. This is the 29 model. It has a 5118 crystal. The crystal is higher than the other one. The dial is three-dimensional. So basically the day complication is built onto this platform. And the difference between these two watches is only the height. So the cases are the same. Crystals are different. This is a 5022 crystal I removed from a watch. The height is like 4.4 millimeters. This is a crystal I removed from a 29 model. It is 4.74 millimeters, 4.75. This is a crystal I removed from another watch. Again a 29 model. This one is 5.21 millimeters. These are all original signed crystals. So things can change from crystal to crystal as well. Not all crystals are same. And one thing I wonder is whether a 29 crystal would fit on a 27 or 17 model. So if the armor ring depth is the same, it can fit. Let's also take a look at the armor ring later on. So on the 27 model, the depth is like 0.8 millimeters, maybe even lower. Let's take another measurement. This I can't take a good measurement. So it's like 0.8 millimeters. On this crystal, I think they are roughly the same. Maybe the rings aren't actually different. I can't take a different measurement from the crystals. Rings, sorry. Now let's remove this ring. As you can see, this part, this inner part is where the dial presses on, and this shiny part becomes a part of the watch's look, and this is the part that you see. Since this ring is old and the watch that it was on was a problematic watch, it's not a very shiny ring. Let's take a look at the width of the ring. It's 1.17. Let's take a look at this ring. I think this is the cut. Not the cut. This ring is in better shape. I think it's going to be thicker. It's 1.31 millimeters. I can see that the depth of the under part is higher too, but I wasn't able to measure that originally. It's 0.83. .75. Normally you should probably be more careful with these rings and maybe use gloves, but since these are discarded crystals and rings, I'm more careless. But this ring is definitely a pristine ring. So it's 1.31 millimeters. And the depth is since the crystal is in good shape, I can't hold it. Again, 0.83. So basically, if you have a ring that goes on C-case crystals, which are 29.6 millimeters in width, if it's 1.3 millimeters, you can conclude that it's for a 5118 crystal, and if it's less than 1.2 millimeters, you can conclude that it's for the 5022 model. But I believe the less than 0.1 millimeter in thickness makes this crystal compatible with this one. But I recall trying it once, and you could see a black gap under the dial. So maybe elevating the dial just a little bit, if it happens, could be the solution. However, I think there's enough pressing room on the movement to actually close that gap. The dial I tried was a bit problematic, not exactly flat, so the gap could have been caused by that. So let's take a look at different packaging. This is a common packaging, I guess. You see a lot of these. Again, new or stock part. This is another type of packaging. This is the modern packaging. This is the old model number. I guess it's kind of a trade secret. You can instead of, for example, searching for 5022, you can search for the old model number cry 1576 and find crystals that would otherwise go unnoticed. These numbers are also sequential, so basically you can, I think, try sequential numbers and they will probably be C-case crystals as well. Some of them are, for example, have a magnifier, so the code change is caused by that. Another manufacturer that you can see on the label is Flume. I haven't tested these crystals yet, but I suspect they won't be that much different. Anyway, this concludes this video, and I always wondered whether the ring was different and what kind of height differences that was. I'm a bit surprised that I haven't tested this before, and thanks to this video and this effort, I was able to scientifically find the differences. And also one important thing to talk about, sometimes you see a ring that doesn't meet the other end perfectly. And that is actually a very, very bad thing for the dial, because the dial has to sit here and press here uniformly. That way the dial won't be stressed. But when you see a crystal that, let's say, sits like this, not perfectly seated, and the dial will also be pressed only on a single point, and the pressure will be on 1 point, maybe 2 points. So basically it can, in the long run, maybe cause dial issues and a crack in the lacquer layer. So it's something to pay attention to, and if there is an issue like this, fix it. Sometimes when someone presses the crystal when the ring is not perfectly seated, it causes like a blemish here, and you have to sand it just a little bit to fix it, and the ring has enough room to perfectly find the other part again. Anyway, just something to keep in mind.